All right. Well, I don't know about you. Okay, I feel good about my life. Life good is a good feeling to have, isn't it? Hello and welcome to the Art of Rock. We're kind of almost on time. It's Saturday morning in Los Angeles. And we're always doing it at this time. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the Tongva people as being the traditional landowners of Los Angeles and the surrounding area. Every Saturday morning here, this is what we're doing. Or it might be Saturday afternoon or midday. Art of Rock, watch it on Angelspit's Twitch. It's also on the YouTube. Shortly, I'm going to put it on Instagram. Don't know why I bother, but I'm going to anyway. Ice Planet 9000 is new album is like toxic to your brain. Go listen to it. It's great. I'm very proud of it. It's the new thing. The new album is almost done for Ice Planet 9000, and also the new Angelspit album is like halfway done as well. Talking about more music, the Industrial Incisions playlist, go listen to it. There's a whole bunch of bands here, and if anybody has a new track, please send it my way. And it's great. There's more amazing music here. This is MTV TV. When we finished here, we're going to raid to MTV TV. If you do a show or a Zoom or something, raid to MTV TV once you're done, because we're keeping it all going. That's where you need to watch MTV TV, and if you've got a video, send it to them because they will play your video. They also have a Patreon. It's right there. It's very amazing. I think you should consider joining it because we got to keep them going. Welcome. Alex had an amazing question about files to DJs. Alex, you're on the spot now.
Yes, I thought about sending tracks to DJs as a form of promotion, and my question would be, what kind of files do DJs prefer? Do I send an MP3? Do I send a WAV file? If it's a WAV file, at what bit depth and sample frequency, and maybe they prefer a code for Bandcamp so they can choose the file type themselves. And what else in terms of information do I send with that? And maybe how do I ask if they want to receive a free promotional copy in the first place?
Ask me more questions, because what I'm doing right now is trying to get fucking live on fucking Instagram, and this is what we call a filibuster here in the US. So just ask me some more questions while I'm getting my shit together, because I really want to shoot my mouth off about this, unless somebody else wants to shoot their mouth off and save my very unprofessional ass right now. Anyone?
Yeah, I think that's about it in terms of my question. Maybe how to find DJs that fit your style of music. Do I write them on Instagram, or do I just look for their personal email address?
Okay.
Yeah, how Instagram is live right now.
This is good. Now, with a bit of luck, you know what? I just don't fucking understand this goddamn streaming for dub. Right. Okay. First thing, streaming to DJs. Okay, here we go. Streaming to DJs. 1, send an MP3, a 320 megabyte MP3. 2, make sure that all of the tags are in it, and also put a little photo on it. You know how you can put a little image? 500 pic square, that'll do fine. You can even go smaller if you want. Wouldn't go below 300 though. Because sometimes they project those images when they're playing their set, so 500 is good. Remember to put in the thing where it says your band name, copyright information, the name of the track, and the tempo. And in the comments area, link back to your Bandcamp. That's what you need to send to them. I wrote down lists here because this is such a good. Okay, also upload it into a Google folder, not Dropbox, because Dropbox and all these other things have got a whole bunch of wankerage, but Google is great. And I have learned only this week, don't put it in a zip file, put it in a folder. So when they click on it, they can view everything and download stuff separately, because people on mobile phones, apparently it's harder to download a zip or only parts of a zip. Make sure that there's a little text file in there that's saying who wrote the song, what the song's name is, more information about the band, and what tempo it is. If there are Spotify links, include the Spotify links, because some DJs are wanting to do playlists and stuff like that. As far as getting, if you've got a track, send it to me, Alex. This is for you and also for people who are close to me, i.e. my friends and supporters, and I'll send it to my DJs. For you to find your own list, and I think it's really important to start finding your own list. Hello, everybody joining right now. Research it. Just get online, decide what your style of music is. That means you have to decide what a genre is. I know we hate genres, but oh my God. Darkwave, EBM, industrial, whatever the hell that is now, blah, 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 blah. And then put into an AI fucking Google search thing, what are the top 20 podcasts for this genre? Research them and do me a favor. I'll do you a favor. I will send out one of your tracks, and in return, if you could do some research for me and find out who these DJs are, get their email address, get their name, get the name of the show. Their name is important, whether it's their real name, the name of their DJ name, find out their show name, and get their email address. Also, the country could be useful as well. That's what I think. Because, yeah, and what I'll always do is I'll send out the original batch. There's also other things like EBM Worldwide, which is a Facebook group, and I'm destroying my house right now. Is a Facebook group that where you can put stuff and sounds and shadows and stuff like that. But you're looking for DJs, and even if, like for example, on Sounds and Shadows, you might say, "Hey, I'm looking for DJs who might want to be receiving promotion." It's really interesting, difficult, weird, because I don't know how much people read emails anymore. I don't know. Everything's changing. But yeah, stuff like MailChimp's great fun because you can send out an email and then a week or 10 days later, everybody who didn't open that email, you send out, you say only send it out to people who didn't open it. So you send out a reminder. So everyone who opened it, I'm not going to bug you again. With Ice Planet 9000, I actually send them by hand. I copy and paste. I have about 30, and I separately copy and paste every single one of them. And I will, along the way, be having conversations. It's sort of an experiment. I wanted to get to know people better, and I've definitely done that. So it's a good thing. So the more personal is, I guess it's, the better it is. This goes into a big long rant. Does anybody else want to comment on this? Do you want to ask me anything or throw out another question or anything like that?
What do you think about just sending them an Bandcamp code instead of a folder?
Well, that means you have to now copy and paste a whole bunch of Bandcamp codes and deal with that shit, and or have a MailChimp where you've got one of the columns is a Bandcamp thing and you're copy and pasting and blah, 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 blah. Oh, there's so much fucking around already. I haven't really met many DJs who play WAV files or FLACs. I have, interestingly, in Ice Planet 9000, because a lot of them are older. Maybe, I don't know why that is. And some of them will say, I want 24-bit, the highest resolution you've got. Some of them say, I want CD quality. Some of them are fine with MP3s. I think in our genre, it's fair. You go to a club and they're playing MP3s. They're not playing CDs. They're playing MP3s. Maybe what you might do to make life easier for everyone is in the Google file folder you have. Yeah, sure, EBM radio for sure. In the Google file you have a folder, also include a 44.116-bit WAV file, as well as the MP3, and you might even have like a full strength FLAC file in there as well. Yeah, and then it's going to be a question of what tracks you're sending them and how often, because you have to send them the tracks that they will want to play on the dance floor. Adam, welcome. Okay, I'm just going to stop for a minute and I'm going to read Adam's. I'm having a rough morning. Okay, Adam, we love you, and please be better. There's also indie promoters out setting out DJ service. Like, yeah, William Zimmerman has a DJ service. He charges. You know, when you break it down, it might be easier in the long run to actually just pay someone to do it. So that's William Zimmerman. He's on the Sounds and Shadows group. But as I said, I've got one and I offer it freely to select people, and you're one of those select people. So, yeah. And so is Ivan, who's never fucking taken me up on this. Does anybody else want to say anything right now before we start a fantastic day of Ivan bashing? Nothing. We could stop and move on to the next topic if we want, which is very boring. It's my topic, or we could talk more about. I've just got an eye on what Adam's saying because I really appreciate what Adam says. Nothing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I want to bring up another question. You know what? Hey, we've got a Discord, and you know, we could always be setting up, you know, a Google Doc, for example, to try and find you know, DJs and stuff like that, because we've already got the Industrial Incisions playlist, and it's so important to work together because everything is changing so much right now. It's always changing, isn't it? I had a beautiful quote this week saying that God is change. So when you read holy text, when you see the word God, think change. And it's fascinating. It makes you at peace with change. I personally love change. Whatever. Okay, another question that's come up, unless somebody, Aaron's hand, go. Good to see you, Aaron.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. This might be a can of fucking spring snakes, but I've been thinking more and more about, like, how much is your art worth to you and how much is your investment in your art, you know? Because more and more I have friends and projects and all these things that it just seems like they're one major springboard or one step away from just launching it, you know? But I think everybody gets caught up on how do I launch this the right way, et cetera, et cetera. But I think a lot of it can just circle back to how much do you invest in your craft, i.e. business cards, promotion, time spent promoting your own shit. We could always pin this on the board and circle back to it, but I just think it'd be an interesting topic to kind of brush up on, you know?
Okay. You know what? I like this. If there's no, I'd love to. So just give me in a nutshell, just 100 words or less, 50 words or less. What was the question again? Something versus something.
It would be how much is your investment in your art, you know, and it could be virtual time spent promoting your art weekly, or it literally could be a physical moniker of like, what is your art worth to you as far as what's a worthwhile investment, let's just say every month, you know?
Oh, right. Okay.
Because the physical thing is the moniker you can track. You know what I mean? I spent X on business cards. I doled out this.
Yeah.
But with hindsight or being able to dig into your analytics, you might be able to field how people heard of you and get a good, you know.
Yeah. So the currency.
You know?
Okay. Can I just steamroll this?
Yeah.
This is a really great question. Indeed, it is a little thing full of springy snakes, and here they come. Another really important question is, what is the currency to you and what is that currency worth? Not money, not people clicking on like, but what is the higher currency here? Also, what's the idea behind it? Because something increasingly that I'm learning, and I'm not answering your question because that's just what I don't do. Every project that I have come across that is successful and driving and doesn't end is the Jesus, it's your birthday, Aaron.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Aaron. In fact, let's Can everybody unmute their microphone? We're going to sing happy birthday. And this is going to be bad because you're going to get a whole bunch of delay. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Now remix that shit.
I think that was the remix version. Alex, what are you drinking to toast Aaron's day of birth? Good on you,
Club Mate. It's mate tea based tea drink with
God,
sugar
I love
and
it.
carbon.
Fantastic. I just love German drinks and stuff.
You can get it in LA, but it costs 5 times as much.
Everything in LA costs 5 times as much.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, even the pizzas. God damn it.
They sell it at Perfect Circuit.
A Perfect Circuit?
Yeah, because it's famous for techno people who drink it because of Berlin.
There you go. Thank you. All right, Aaron. So every project I've come across that has tenacity, I shouldn't say every, I should say many, are driven by a higher thing, a higher idea. And the question is, what is the idea that drives you? Do you have an idea? Should you have an idea? Because if you haven't hit the skids yet, at some point you are going to hit the skids several times, as in you're going to run out of petrol in the middle of the desert and there'll be no water and you'll go, God, why am I doing this? Or change, why am I doing this? Suddenly it does make sense. And you have to be getting something out of this further beyond what money likes you. There's got to be something more. Yeah, there's got to be something. For example, education, healing, love. These are great things. These are great ideas to have. But there's also a higher idea, which is, in your case, it might be questioning the relevance of deities. And how is that, what lessons are here? Which is the thing I do love about what you do, is that I'm always listening to it. And there's always this wisdom above what's being spoken that I get into.
I think, yeah, and I mean, to that end, I mean, it works twofold. I mean, as much as we're a horror comedy, it's full tilt one or the other. So, like, the comedy aspect comes from a lot of venting daily frustrations out through characters, but that could help, land on some humor and hit some more salient points. But then I find a great deal of joy in wicked stories, like you said, beyond financial and because you could dive so deep into trying to explore all of these mythologies and this world building that you're like, holy shit, man, like, this is fucking cool, man. Like, this is something I didn't know before. This is something I could discover and enjoy, and then hopefully eventually amplify and share with more and more people. So yeah, it's kind of stuff we've dabbled on before, where you have to be obsessed with the idea so much so that it's just like you just keep echoing, you just keep pinging,
Yeah. So yes, hold on. Alex, what are you thinking?
I just wanted to answer the question for myself, and for me, it's just time. I think, like, I have everything I would need to finish tracks, and of course, if I have to promote them, that would be something different. But right now, for me, it would be just time and maybe investment into education, like music lessons, or maybe the odd tutorial. I don't know. I think you don't have to overspend on those, but this would be for me the most the areas of investment. And in return, the currency for me is, of course, the joy of messing about with music gear and playing music, but also having a track that I really like and that I can listen to it back.
Thank you. Aaron, hit me.
And one quick thing, just in tandem, yeah, it absolutely isn't something that's going to be solved right now, but it's probably just a question to ruminate on, because I got buddies that are trying to start projects and they're like beating their head into the wall, and they can be impervious to good advice, or they can be impervious to advice in general. It's just because different people are at different places, so many fucking factors. But what I'm getting at is, it's probably a good question to ruminate on, to where you just go, you know what? I haven't done X in a while, whether it's literally anchoring down one day just to say one day a week, this is where I promote all my shit on all the platforms ever. And that's my digital time spent, my digital currency. Or you might say, hey, you know what? It's been 3 months since I've shelled out some business cards, or did a project that I like, that's or something that I'm creating with my hands that's tactile, that, A, brings you joy, but B, it could help Stratocast, your vibe and what you're doing. So again, it's probably not a right away thing, but it's probably something just to ruminate on, where you're just like, what haven't I explored in a while, digital or physical, and what can I do to kind of change that for the better?
Yes. My God. Yes. Thank you. Oh, Brett, what are you thinking?
So for me, it very much reflects what what you're just saying there, Aaron. Creativity is one of those things, like Carl said in the past. It's a muscle. You got to continue to exercise it. For me, that spans a pretty wide gambit of things. My answer musically would probably be more along the lines of or at least in terms of currency, it very much satisfies something internal to me. So doing that somehow makes me more whole, but where it comes to other things, like, I've recently started messing with woodworking and stuff like that. I that is almost like meditation. It's kinetic meditation. Nonetheless, the currency is for me is probably going to be the work I put into it overall, and what that does predominantly for me than what it might do for someone else.
Bam. Thank you. No, this is good. It's interesting, Aaron. I'm sorry, birthday boy. Something that you said, and Brent basically followed up on it, is how, you want to give people advice with art. You want to help them on their path. But I'm listening to people like Brent, and I go, wow, it's really wonderful hearing who, what, where, when you convert life energy into art. And that's the really funny thing. I'm going to rant now. Art answers the question, what am I doing with my life? Where I can get to this point of my life, and sometimes in a depressed state, and go, well, at least I made these albums. And at least I gave other people the soundtrack to parts of their lives, and at least I am doing something that isn't doom scrolling, but I get ahead of myself. Music and art converts frustrations, woe, and the horror and ugliness of the world and life into something beautiful, or beautifully horrible, hideously grotesque, or hideous and perfect. The alternative is looking at dumb social media. And if you just decide with yourself to stop with fucking internet after a certain hour, and that means Netflix, and that means, does anybody give a shit about Disney anymore? All of this stupid time wasting crap, stop, put your phone in a box, lock it until tomorrow morning. Go out and buy yourself one of those old school alarm clocks, like in the Matrix. And don't use your fucking phone. Put it in a goddamn box. Or get a cat, because cats will wake you up at 6:30 every morning. 4:30. Frank, I love you. because social media is a waste of time. It's ruining your life, and it's sucking everything decent and human out of you, out of your spirit. It's sucking your spirit away. It is vampiric on this new incredible level. But I keep telling people that, and I keep telling myself that, and I keep death scrolling and doom scrolling, and sure enough, all those amazing ideas in my head are gone. That's why I make art. Where the fuck do you make art? And the thing I am learning is that I want to encourage people, but I have been called, this is something I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to talk about. What's the word? Toxically positive, toxic something. Everything's got a word these days. I don't know what the word is, but my attempt to encourage people, because Facebook always loves to remind me about how good my life was 7 years ago, and it's always throwing up these oh, you put this really nice positive thing up, and a whole bunch of people said thank you, Carl, I needed to hear that right now. And I don't do that anymore because people have to say something dumb and shitty, and it just wore me down. And that's why I do this, that if you want to say something dumb and shitty to my positivity, I can tell you to go fuck yourself to your face, as opposed to typing something dumb into the fucking comments. Anyway, so yeah, internet, how it's ruined me, slash made me, slash transformed me. Change, God is change, God is internet. Oh, this is great. Happy birthday, Aaron. That didn't answer your question at all. Does anybody else want to not answer Aaron's question? Oh, birthday boy's question? I'm such a cunt. I am enjoying this.
I'll not answer my own question. No, because
if I'm not myself, who am I? If I'm not myself, who am I? If I'm not myself, who am I? Go ahead.
No, I have a really bad habit of being like, we're going on the mental equivalent of a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas road trip that nobody was willingly.
Take me with you.
Like, yeah, I'm just like, all right. And then somebody somewhere is going to be the Tobey Maguire of the car and just be like, fuck this, I'm out. Just jump out.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. It's the whole social media landscape where I have found a little bit of joy in navigating it. It's just being like, you know what, fuck it, send it, and I'm not really worried about fucking amplified returns. I know that's a wholly different thing when you're trying to promote a song, promote an album, etc. But there's a lot of shit to where it just kind of falls to the wayside. But if I were to be constructive about this, I've been thinking about and ruminating more and more. It's like, I haven't thought about selling or promoting on X platform. Why the fuck not? And it leads to better questions of, if I'm not trying to set up more antennas to Stratocast, then what the fuck am I doing? And you could be like, okay, you know what? I'm a juggle 3 to 4 sites, but it's like I'll get a ping, like I'll get an Etsy update that's like, hey man, you're doing fucking amazing. And then you open it and it says you had 1 visit to your shop this week. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, because you had no visits last week.
Yeah, you're just like,
I know exactly how you feel.
Well, like you said, though, on the digital landscape, you could be electronically fucking, somebody's hyping you up, somebody's like, yeah, algorithm. Fuck yeah. You had more views than usual on your reel this week. And I'm like, cool, man. Like, what the fuck ever. I'm not going to sit here and think about what I could have done better, different, otherwise. What I'm trying to get at is maybe that's a calling just to say, you know what? I haven't explored these other 3 avenues, or like y'all were talking about the DJ pool, or reaching out to more people, more things. Because you never know who's going to resonate with your shit. Brian sent me a comment the other day and said, somebody said, I didn't know that hack and splash was a thing. I thought it was something that you and Carl crafted just for the sake of hardcore pong. And it brought me to tears because I was laughing so hard. I was like, dude, that's so fucking cool, but it's organic. And somebody found out about Graham in a different way. And then Brian was just like, no, it's a whole thing. Like, there's a lot to unpack there. But it just made me laugh because, again, if you don't seek out other opportunities, if you don't explore things, if you don't collaborate, i.e., if I never would have done shit, with the hardcore Pong thing, then that might not have, resonated with more and more people, and inherently brought them joy. I hope that they dig on that track. I hope it's a fucking banger for them. I hope they find out just how cartoonishly wacky it can be. And then that opens up another subsect of, oh, holy fuck, I didn't know about Angelspit, Gotsicles, MTV TV, everything, has a ripple effect, but it's just, you might need to seek out a few more things just to get, again, put up more fucking antennas. So.
Brilliant. I'm going to circle back to that, but I'll do that after Alex. Alex, what are you thinking?
Yeah, two quick comments. I think the reason I'm stuck with music is the same reason I'm stuck with everything with life. And if I find out what it is, I'll be a very happy man. And the other thing is, I think sometimes people need to find the solution themselves. It doesn't work if they get the advice. They need to stumble upon it themselves. Only then it works. It's stupid, but sometimes it has to be that way.
I absolutely agree. It's like love or faith. It's faith, isn't it? Because art or whatever is this thing that you can't see or touch. I'm talking about the actual creativity of it, the what the fuck that thing is. You can't see it. You can't. It's this thing floating around, and you have to have faith, tenacity, and strength to make it happen. It's in this other dimension, and by your will, you have to pull it through into this dimension. And nobody understands what you're getting at. They don't. It's like the vision in 2001. You couldn't explain it with mashed potatoes. You couldn't explain it with anything at all. You just had to fucking keep going. Trust the process. I was talking to somebody recently about how, hey, I'm Carl and I've got a great idea. You've got contact with all of these people in this certain genre. Why don't you get those people together, get one track from them, build a Spotify playlist, and then send this playlist to those people and tell them to tell everybody across all their social media. And I stopped myself because I thought, how many times have I fucking said that? And they don't do it. It's the shitty thing about it is that most artists do not like administration. Because in order to be an artist, arguably, you're using a different area of your brain. And how do I say this unoffensively? Do I give a shit about saying this unoffensively? No, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to fucking offend you. Exercise the part of your fucking brain that is about admin. Because administration, finding out who to send shit to, making a time every week to do boring fucking social media is part of the job. And don't go, I get my manager to do it. Fuck off. To which I throw a question back to the birthday boy. So birthday boy, what I'm wanting to know is, are there other acts similar to you that are not musical, that are whatever you call hack and the stuff you do, whatever you call that, are there other people doing that? If so, how can you join forces and work with them?
No, that's a great question. I mean, and I've kind of got the ball on the tee right now because, again, what we were talking about investing, it's like Knoxville CreepyCon's coming up. It's going to be the first weekend of August. It's all things ever. It's not just like a one note, okay, this is kind of a weird con and it might be floundering. No, they've rose to prominence and been kicking fucking ass. And if I were to best describe it, it's an entire convention dedicated to horror podcasts, people that do paranormal, hunting, investigating, etc., mask makers, aerial hoop artists, people that celebrate, the drag scene, people that, it's just, there's so much, people that do creepy crafts and horror, like plushies and teddy bears, and people that do photography. There's just a metric fuck ton of things at said event. And more they're starting to spring up. And even your mainline, like Comic Cons and stuff, but they started doing a horror side to their convention as well. So to that point, it's like it's a hell of a networking opportunity, to say the least. And then also give me a chance to blab about my show. Now, whether or not people are doing strictly speaking Grim, you don't see a lot of it, actually. You see kind of a one-note joke about what if Michael Myers went to Home Depot, or what if X character was at said popular store, but you don't see a lot of homebrews to where they wanted to craft like an entire world behind what they're doing. They wanted to go for the hee-hees and the ha-has and do the handful of wouldn't that be funny type, kind of like a meme or a short video, but not a full-blown like universe. So.
Something I've learned by watching you and your tenacity is that your fan base, no matter where you are in your career or you think you are, must be one person at a time. And if you shake someone's hand, they'll be your fan for life. Well, maybe not, but they'll be your fan for a long time. And it's got to be one person at a time, whether in person or communicating. That's something I find very hard. I find it very, very difficult communicating to humans because they're weird. Alex, hit me with your brain juice.
I sometimes listen to music promotion YouTube gurus when I'm grocery shopping. Not that I'm at that stage, but what I've heard from them is that they recommend to reply to people with videos on TikTok, and I think you can do that same on Instagram. But I don't have my shit together to film myself, and right now I don't feel comfortable enough to be in front of camera. But I think if I would be more serious and better equipped, I probably would try that. So if Aaron posts a video, I would try to integrate it somehow with my stuff. And apparently it said people resonate to that because it feels more alive than just one person trying to force engagement. But if it's like a community, people want to be involved, basically. That's the theory.
Yeah, this is where I need therapy. You got to do what you've got to do and what you're comfortable and natural at doing. That's what you've got to do. You've got to, I think the worst place to get advice is by people going, oh, algorithm, and you need to do this for the algorithm because the algorithm. And what they don't say is, by the way, the algorithm is going to change next week. Do what you're comfortable with doing. Say and that's, I don't know, this could be going down a different path. Aaron, you need to save me now.
I shall attempt. I think it harkens back to the first idea, or one of the ideas. Again, you got to do something that you're obsessed with. The whole fucking, the algorithm deal. Yeah, again, fickle little shit that it is. And what I found in the vein of like networking and stuff we were talking about, it ties into the algorithm deal because you'll see it on the floor at a convention. I mean, that's a prime example. You'll see 5, 6, 7 booths being like, oh, scary bears are a hit. If I rip the face off this stuffed bear and I put a skeleton in there and whatever else, but then all of a sudden, next con, there's 18 booths doing fucking scary bears, and then the next year they might not sell worth a shit. So you might have better time spent getting obsessed with something that you love, mastering said craft, and getting to a point where you go, you know what? Nobody fucking does it. If y'all will indulge me for 30 seconds, it's just my show and tell. I got obsessed with waxcraft. So more and more, I have my UV resin and my candles and all my little creepy shit going, and like, wax coins and just little things that you can have, hold, appreciate, things that react to the UV light, things that really stand out. And I don't have to, hold my breath and hope that I'm going to be able to sell 80 fucking scary bears, because what I tried to do was judge by comparison. And that's how you shoot yourself in the foot. Cause you go, oh, fuck, what do you mean scary bears aren't the thing anymore? And I'm going to keep saying scary bears until it's, socially unacceptable. No, but point being, you judge by comparison. You thought you had to make 80 fucking bears, and maybe you didn't have to make them at all. Because again, you're trying to follow suit instead of just go, you know what, fuck it. I dig on waxcraft, and that's going to be my jam, Yeah. And hopefully, more and more people resonate with that. And then they go, oh, get the fuck out of here. That's a whole thing. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's just trying to think outside the box, and be like, nobody else is doing grim coins or UV candles and shit. So, now the only last thing I will say, though, is sometimes you do need a little bit of an inkling of judging by comparison so you can kind of know where the bar is. I got to a point where, like, the artist struggle is trying to put a dollar value on your art. That's a real pain in the fucking ass, right? That's like, how much is it worth? But then I started seeing machine shopped shit that was just made by a machine, shrink wrapped. It's a skull. It's $30 and it smells like a fucking crayon. But they were selling. And I was like, well, shit. Not only am I undervaluing my product, but I can do something that looks way cooler, smells way better. And maybe I shouldn't be underselling them. Maybe I need to adjust accordingly, Maybe just a couple ticks underneath what that machine shop fucking shit is. But, sometimes a little bit of judging by comparison. Again, it's healthy in the vein of finding the bar. But beyond that, you don't have to try to copycat everything that's out there, then get frustrated when it's not working.
Brilliant. Thank you. Ivan, what are you thinking?
I suck at internet engaging across the board. I'm bad at it. I don't like doing it, for one. Like, so, for my stuff, like, I've got a little bit of a Spotify presence and a little bit of a YouTube presence, but, like, my main is just SoundCloud. Because, like, I'm not worried about what's going on there, and it's easy to deal with, and it's good for me. When something goes to full release, it will go from there to, like, getting to all the other places, but I don't spend a lot of time looking at them because, like, making the music is hard enough. Like, I got better stuff to do. Like make more music, and like, I am gonna cheat. I'm gonna let the machine draw the pictures for me because I'm not a still artist. I'm not a painter. I'm making music. I'm not going and writing big long posts about it because that's not who I am. That's not what I do. I do what I do, and like, if people don't want to engage with it, well, then that's their loss, not mine. I just, like, it feels like the push is for everybody to become like an exact, like a full, like, you end up having to do like what the like the internet music marketing folks say. You end up having to become an expert in so many other things that you don't have time for it to begin with. And should you succeed at all of those other things, you stop making music. Or more importantly, you stop making good music. Like, it ends up costing. Everything comes with a cost, and like, I hate that. I just want to make music and have a good time. And
thank you. I'm just going to interrupt you because I'm a bastard. It's interesting that what you just said was very similar to what Aaron said, that there's a trend, and it's not just the algorithm, this is just how marketing and dumb shit works, that there's a trend that this year Scare Bears are in, or Four on the Floor, that's slow tempo with whatever is in. And then, well, that's always going to be in, unfortunately. Then there's something else fucking dumb bullshit that's in. It's, if you create stuff like that from a marketing perspective, you, by the time you get it produced, created, and out there, it's going to be in the closing part of its cycle. And it came about because somebody probably had a cool idea, or looked back in time and went, oh, these were cool 10 years ago. Maybe I'll try and fucking resurrect that or something like that. Yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with everyone. You got to do your thing. You've really got to do your thing, because we'll go back to the currency of why the fuck you're doing this, is because fuck you, it's fun. And it's fuck you, it's a reflection of me, not a reflection of you, or even worse, what a reflection of I think you want. If you do that, it is the kiss of death. You will fail. You will fail. There's no question. I yield the floor. Ivan, did you want to keep talking? And thank you for turning your mic up, by the way.
Yeah, no, and the like if you're just chasing what everybody else is doing, like that only like just gets bland and generic and boring. You know, we're creators. Creators' job is are to lead.
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
do that by trying new stuff and being different and being crazy. Like, you can't do all of those things and be generic at the same time. You know, as soon as you start like play into the algorithm, the blandness kicks in, and you know, that is, it's so flavorless and boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And before you know it, you're in a job that you hate. And you're not making music anymore. You're administrating and creating product. Yeah. Anyway, Alex, wow, this is depressing.
I feel my comment is a bit out of place now because the conversation has moved past me. But I was going to say that maybe if you do something that resonates with people, I think it has a better chance of being algorithm proof, because the algorithm might change, but human behavior probably won't. And in regard to another thing you said, I recently listened to an interview with an artist called Machine Drum, and he said he was a bit bitter because he was like innovative for his time, experimented a lot with sounds, but the things he did became popular only later. So he feels like he was a bit cheated out of his success just because he was too early with his ideas and with his sound.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, he lives from his art, and I don't think he like is landing on the street anytime soon. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to hear that perspective.
Mm. Yes. Aaron, then I'm going to go on a rant. Aaron.
Yeah, I would say to that end too. It's like, yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff that like people are like, oh man, they're way ahead of their time, you know? Or you look back and you go, man, there's fucking mastery, like the way that they, you know, put sounds together, et cetera, or people will spend years trying to pick apart and reconstruct just how in the fuck, you know, Blue Oyster Cult did this or this band did that, you know? And you will spend so much, and some of it is like they were just by the tech of their time, you know. But all that being said, yeah, if you keep busting your ass with something that you are absolutely obsessed with, and just kind of re-examine how often you engage with things or the way that you engage, and it could be physical engagement, it could be seeing that literally if there's a community event in your area, or dare I say a free event, you know, that you can go set up a table at, cool, try it, you know? Because I think people do get very, very stuck on, well, people aren't going to want to hear this, or people don't like this, or I'm just so fucking busy, or blah, 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 blah. But there literally might be an event happening right down your street, you know, to where they're just like, well, just sign up on the thing and yeah, bring a table, you know? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You might literally just say, hey, you know what? I'm here. This is my QR code. You know, this is my deal. This is what I do, you know? And it might be something that A, it got you out of the house, and B, it was a way just to promote shit, you know, and try to get another avenue going. Because I think about that all the time. I'm like, I don't know why I self-exclude myself from stuff that's not inherently just creepy, you know? There might be a craft fair or something going on, and everybody's got their own little deal, and it's a pretty tame event. But I'm like, you know what? I might need to pursue that in the future and just be like, bring some creepy shit, you know? Because people might be perusing and be like, oh, well, there's handmade jewelry and there's basket weaving, and somebody else makes oh shit, this guy's got a bunch of creepy shit. I wasn't expecting to find that there, but fuck yeah, you know? So you may find a niche within said event, and again, it may not even cost you anything. It might just be a local community gig, you know.
Thank you. At this stage, I am going to enforce an Moog One update on everyone. Thank you for this conversation. Last week we were having trouble with USB. The problem is fixed. The Moog One doesn't like being plugged into USB 3. If you plug it into USB 2, it's fine. I've got a whole bunch of USB 2 gear that is fine with plugging into a USB 3, but not the Moog One. There's other funny things happening, like stuck notes. It just, you know, back in the 80s when notes would stick, Moog One fucking notes stick. Apparently there's a trick to fixing that. I will be trying that later today, or maybe tomorrow. I have decided that it sounds like a vintage synth. Vintage synths have a certain sound. There's analog synths, and then there's vintage synths. Vintage synths sound like they could fall apart at any second. The Moog One sounds like it could fall apart at any second. It doesn't, except the stuck notes. And the stuck notes only happen when I play it via MIDI and in unison, when there's something in unison. Anyway, like when there's a unison note going on. Obviously, you can make sounds that sound like a modern analog synth, or you can make sounds that sound very modern indeed. I've been 15 hours a week easily, maybe 20 hours, 15 hours a week. I am still absolutely blown away by the sound of this thing. It's just insane. And something I'm trying to get into is actually playing songs, actually playing them in and recording them from the keyboard itself. And I came up with this sound during the week, and it's this weird, archaic, noisy, jangy bass sound, big 70s weird fucking thing. And it's got noise in it, and I don't understand why it has noise in it. I think it's because it's ring modulating and ring modulation, FM, and sync. So it's resulting in super crazy frequencies that sound like noise. And I was trying to get rid of it. Then I went, I'm not going to do that because it sounds so fucking good. Just weird. It's just really curious because I don't really, I normally write music using really rudimentary sounds and then move them across to a synthesizer. But the funny thing about the Moog One is I have an idea for a song, I write it all on paper, and then I will create a bass, a pad, and a lead sound. And from this, so much changes, so much happens. And it's really interesting that it's like, you know, I'm now just going to play this pad sound because it's so beautiful. And another interesting thing is I used to stack a lot of sounds up. I don't do that anymore because it's just all I want to hear is that one sound. It's just stunning. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with the MIDI clock because the sequences run out of time when it's playing a sequencer, but that could be my gear still. and there's all these other little tiny bits and pieces that I don't fucking figure out. And then I figured out all these other things that are amazing. I may have told you this, that I figured out, forgive me if I said this last week, but you know how there's that guitarist that's amazing and everybody wants that guitarist in their band because they're amazing. But the problem is that guitarist is flaky. They never turn up on time. They don't rehearse and they're just a total dick. That's the Moog One. And then you hear them playing. It's like, holy shit. Oh my God, this guitarist is fucking incredible. But they're so flaky and they're so fucking, oh my God. So yeah, because I just saw in the Alex, you put like a pure diva. It really is. It's the diva of synthesizers. I still don't know how to make it respond to controller 55 sustain, 64 sustain, sustainuendo on 66, portamento, all the basics. Don't know how to do it. And I've put things. I still haven't got any fucking word back from Moog help desk, and I've started putting things on the Moog forum saying fucking help me, and the moderator isn't passing them on to the forum. So Jesus fucking Christ. Beautiful synthesizer. My God. Brett, hit me.
So I've got some old gear that I run into problems with like that too. I found that I actually had to get a separate. It's kind of like this.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of those USB to MIDI interfaces. But I actually have to run more than one. And it gets a little weird because in the DAW you have to split it up. Because of course everything wants to work in MIDI channels, and that's a completely new chain of 16, divided out. So your port 1 and your port 1 can get mixed up if your DAW can't handle that logic. But nonetheless, when I did that, my older gear does actually clock properly now. So if I, and of course, I can sit there and I can do other things with the different MIDI codes. I don't mess with them a whole lot, but more importantly, I'm after the input output, note on, note off, velocity. When it comes to the sound, a lot of times I want more of a human element there, so I'll manipulate the filters and everything by hand as I'm recording. And that goes back to practice and all that. But that's kind of how I address the same problem. I think you're on the right track with it being hardware in terms of your clocking issue. If you have another spare little USB, you might just want to play with that. Okay,
this is interesting. I just made myself a note that maybe because I've got one of those USB multi, 1 in 4 out things. The Moog is currently plugged into that. And what I might do is plug it straight into the computer. Yeah? All right, I'll try that. Because nobody else seems to have this issue, although other people have weird issues. And I will just say, Alex, I see your hand. There's all of these, which I have to now get into, all of these CV input output things you can do, like fucking crazy. Like you can run an LFO out the CV and oh fuck. And as it turns out, you can send a sequencer trigger out the CV as well. So that's really exciting. Alex, hit me.
Definitely plug it into the computer directly if you have a free slot. The hubs can be very disrupting to timing and swallow information. If you have to use one, this one by Electron isn't bad. It is purposefully for music. It's a bit more expensive. I think I paid like 70 euros for this. But it hasn't let me down so far.
Do you have to power
it? You don't have to, but they recommend it. It has an input 3 amp.
Is it USB 2 or 3?
It's 3, but it can also work with 2. I think they have like, so there is this connector and you can plug in either a USB 2 micro, micro, or USB 3, which has like the extra
So
switch mode.
is it native to 2 or 3? Because I can't plug the Moog One into a USB 2.
I think it's native USB 3.
Okay, that's a negative. I can't use it. But nevertheless, maybe someone else can. Okay, thank you.
And I looked it up. I was going to say that sometimes you can tell your synthesizer to not listen or to only listen to external clock, but the Moog One is, I think, either external clock on or off.
Yeah.
And there isn't any other setting.
Yeah, and it's you can go internal, external, listen to USB or listen to DIN. And I was thinking of pulling it out fucking USB or something. I don't know. But I haven't run it out of the bloody fucking Arturia Beat Step, which is actually brilliant MIDI timing. Oh my god, it's rock solid. I haven't tried that one yet, and I should try that one, but I'll get to that. Thank you. You had a question about using an Atari.
Yes, since you said you had like woes with MIDI timing, I had a shower thought about maybe you could try getting Atari ST and an ancient version of Cubase just to sequence MIDI and then record it and use the more modern version to just mix it. Because I've looked it up and I think you can get them for like $300 used. I don't know if there are cracked versions of the first Cubase or Steinberg 24 or whatever, or if the used versions are affordable. I think they even had a dongle back then. Maybe there's a good way to make that work.
I had a Midex. That's a great idea, thanks. I had a Midex on my Atari ST1040 FM. I don't remember. I got it updated to 2.5 meg. This guy. But I had the Midex, which was 2 in, 4 out. And then it had like 4 dongle bays in it. And it also had SMPTE in and out. Anybody remember SMPTE? So I could use a 4-track, have the track number 4 SMPTE, then lock the whole thing to the track. So I could have 3 analog tracks on my 4-track piece of shit with vocals on it. Man, they were fun days. They weren't. It was a pain in the dick because Ataris crash a lot, and the discs get corrupted. And the Atari MIDI timing was so tight they could actually override the operating system. So they could tell the operating system to shut the fuck up. You are secondary now to the MIDI timing. That's where they were so tight. Man, I had 64 MIDI channels pouring out of my Atari. Didn't drop a note. Never, ever, 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 ever. They were fucking great. Alex, did you want to keep talking about this, or do we want to console Ivan, who is currently looking on Reverb for Atari STs?
A stupid, maybe way too convoluted remedy to sustain not working is maybe there is a relay that's controllable by CV, so you could.
Yes, you can do that. It does listen. Gates work with sustain going into it, but not fucking MIDI 65. So if you program something and you've got MIDI 65 in there, MIDI controller 65 to set to sustain, 64, it doesn't fucking respond.
Okay.
What the fuck? There's got to be an internal button. I refuse to believe it. Because, man, I thought this thing was going to be like a Voyager. The Moog Voyager is so profoundly amazing with MIDI. Oh my God, it's so good with MIDI. Nah. Yeah, thanks, Brett. You're not helping, Brett. Ivan, focus on me and breathe deeply. Don't look at what Brent said and don't click the link. We're here, Ivan. Go.
Yeah, the with your Moog One, I would say like absolutely first step, get it plugged directly into your machine. Because like, you know, every time like USB makes a makes a hop to another hub, it loses something. And worse yet, a lot of those like a lot of the USB hubs, you know, the one in, four out, or the one out, four in, you know, powered or unpowered, like the power, you know, it's handled sloppily, very sloppily. And so, you know, you might not be getting as much power to that port as you'd like to. And, you know, like they're just made like crap. So
That's good to know.
go as direct as possible, because you know, like it's removing chaos and noise from the system also helps. And you know, like my Moog, not my Moog, my Chord Gear has taught me some lessons. And you know, I've got this thing, which is, you know, USB in and then just straight MIDI DIN out with like 6 channels of MIDI DIN out. You know, because if I want to run, you know, MIDI to all 3 of my Korgs, I have no choice, because doing it with USB is like just an unavailable option, because their MIDI like implementation over USB is junk. It is junk. It is
Really?
bad as it gets.
For Korg?
Yeah. It is,
Ah,
you know, on the Op6, the all of the you know, like
yeah.
format machines, all of their uh Raspberry Pi to synth machines, the the USB implementation is just, it's lousy.
Wow.
But the DIN implementation is just fine.
There you go. Do you use a lot of controllers, Ivan?
Usually I don't have more than 1 or 2 plugged in.
Okay, interesting. Like no MIDI controllers, like CC.
Yeah.
Like no, like using 5 for portamento and shit like that.
No, I usually they handle that with like Ableton automations.
Right. Okay. Because I got a feeling that I'm one of the few people who actually use CCs, MIDI controllers, continuous controllers when I make music, and I'm heavily reliant on them. I just think that's something weird I do, because when I ask people, they go, "Oh, I don't use that shit." And it's like, oh, okay, maybe that's just me being weird. I don't know.
It's just you having your own workflow. For even then, for those like you know, like cleaning up your MIDI chain is, or not MIDI, your USB chain, and ensuring that your USB hub is, you know, providing a high quality signal is going to make a difference.
Okay, I'm going to try it. Thank you, Alex. How do you want to counsel me?
So also keep in mind, even directly in the PC, not all USB ports are created equal, because sometimes they share a bus, so their bandwidth is shared. So I think one of the Intel MacBooks, they had like different speeds depending on which port you plugged it in. And I'm pretty sure Windows computers work the same.
Okay,
Or
good to
Linux
know.
systems, or anything Intel based.
All right, thank you. Ivan, your hand's still up. Did you want to throw something else in? Okay.
No, actually,
shoot.
Yeah, the idea, one of the big differences between Windows machines and Macs is, you know, it is easy to build a Windows desktop that's got more MIDI, more USB channels, and it's easier to, you know, separate your devices across those so that speeds aren't stepping on each other's feet. Because, like, if you've got a, you know, slow device on a USB channel, it will drag everything on that channel down to the slow speed.
Hmm. This is fascinating. I was just thinking, it's really curious how in a studio there's all of this shit that you've got to you've got to be working with. Like, why isn't this piece of gear working? Oh, that thing accidentally fell out after my cat bumped it. And that sort of goes along with it. That's an expectation with making music. Like, I'm turning my gear on and it doesn't work today. Why doesn't it work today? 2 hours later when it works, I don't feel like making music now because I'm really fucking pissed off. Yet, we hate doing social media stuff. Isn't that funny? That, I mean,
we're already burned out from being our own tech support.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. But it's just interesting. I'm so done with like turning my studio on. It's like, what's going wrong? Like last night I was going, okay, I'm gonna work on this May track, and I was really, yeah, work on May track. And of course, someone's not fucking working. The fucking TX7 isn't working. Why? Why isn't it working? Well, between it and the computer, there's like 5 fucking junctions. I don't know. It's just, and then you got reverb going, oh, more gear. It's like, no, I desperately need to get rid of some fucking gear now. It's, oh God, I don't know. Alex, you were going to make my life better and stop me from crying in my sleep.
Tall order.
Well, you're going to do that. It's what you're going to do.
It's so infuriating. Debugging MIDI setups can be. It hasn't brought me down the way Facebook can. But what I wanted to say is that's the reason I started to mainly focus on one machine or just the DAW at a time and just bounce to audio and use it in the next step of the setup. Or maybe I connect a synthesizer, make a loop, or make a one-shot sample, use it in the sampler, and be done with it, and not have everything interconnected at once. But maybe that doesn't work for you, and your music sounds way more professional than mine, but that's the way that it worked for me.
Yeah, well, I do want to, I don't know, I guess I just really hate myself. And I want to, I'm looking for things to make my life as a horrible grinding experience that I possibly can. And, you know, I love making music, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a system that makes it a grueling, horrifying task for me. I don't know why, because God is change. Not love, it's change. Maybe love is change. Now this is getting depressing. Brett, you have to get me out of my depression. Go.
So I'm not sure how successful I'll be at that. You know, the gear acquisition, the complex synthesizers, audio, you know, all that stuff kind of says to me, you know, maybe we're just kind of the type of people who naturally gain more success out of our machinery, be it musical or not, than we do overall with people. And so things like Facebook become tedious. And or, you know, maybe the other thing about it is maybe people don't challenge us correctly. You know, where it's engaging. It's like, no, I've had enough of your noise. I'll make some of my own and it will sound better.
Yeah, that's interesting. Somebody recently said to me, you know, the gear that you own will soon own you.
Yeah.
And I killed them. I killed them with a hammer. And then I put them in the freezer. And the thing you've got to remember about a person is that there's 20 to 30,000 calories walking around on that meat suit. And, you know, that's saving me a lot of trips to Trader Joe's.
Well, you know, at least you didn't waste anything.
Exactly. Exactly. Aaron, do you want to talk about cannibalism and how it makes me and Brett feel better?
What do you do with their shoes?
Oh, I wear the shoes. If the shoe fits, put the rest of the body into my mouth.
All right.
Because I see someone, I go, wow, nice shoes. Wonder what you taste like. Probably pork.
F&A cotton. That should be the end of a verse, actually. Nice shoes. Wonder what you taste like. And then it just goes into
I'm
something.
gonna, yeah, dude, that's got rhythm. Okay, keep talking.
If I were to talk about social media, I would say that we need to get in a time machine and visit Zug von Rock of years past. See, this clever fellow had engineered an idea that perhaps in a video series, aptly named Art of Rock, he said that you set up your ideal scenario the day before you go to do said task. So perhaps if social media is the bane of your existence, you come up with the verbiage one day. Yes, yes, yes. And then you favorite the video and the post that you want to make and the photo, and you set it aside. And then when it comes to the day of the great unveiling,
It's the Australian accent that's cleaving in right now. Please keep going.
You already have everything in line. And then all you have to do is just pull the curtain open.
Yeah.
Ta-da. And then the sign says cannibalism, and you go, oh, fuck. Not tonight. And you close the curtains.
Do you know that's really true? And like with social media, it's you go to bed the night before and you go, and also you've got to have like a list of things that you're pimping that you know that you're pimping. But something I'm learning increasingly is that I have to be true to myself, because I'll be honest, I'm really fucking depressed, and the internet gets me down. It doesn't help. And you know, I scroll through my feed and everything, and and I wonder how much of this is me just not giving a shit anymore. How much of this is me saying, "Oh well, apparently if you post pictures of yourself around the pool in your panties, people will like you more, but they don't like your music." Who would have guessed? So I deleted all the photos of me sitting around the pool in my panties, that's what you do with your face in the panty shots. And also pictures of Frank. I've tried to put him around the pool in his panties, but he's going, nah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused about it because there's so much confusion about, oh, you should do this, you should do this, you should do, everybody else is doing this. And it's like, I don't know. I just want to, I don't know. It's funny how increasingly in my feed and increasingly what I'm being attracted to is extremely offensive humor. Because it offends me. It really offends me. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it wouldn't have offended me, but now it offends me. And it's like, why am I offended now? This is 5 years old, and 5 years ago, I laughed at it. Oh, you can't laugh at it now. Why? Why can't I laugh at it now in the privacy of my own home? I don't know.
I find it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, maybe you're angrier about it than you were 5 years ago.
Yeah, maybe I'm just angry about everything. There's a wonderful concept which is called something by proxy. Blame by guilt by proxy, and it's the idea of offended by proxy. You're offended by something on behalf of someone else, and sure, everybody's got something that you don't joke about. That's fine. I respect that. I do, but a lot of things I don't joke about. But there's a lot of things I do joke about that other people don't joke about, but I can't be held responsible for what they can and can't. I have to be respectful, but the thing about it is that it is cluttering my mind. It's slowing down my mind and my ability to create, and my ability for my neurological synapses in the moment of creativity, which is this divine thing, God change that happens, where your brain does this thing. It just starts sprouting and going off into these places. But now increasingly there's so many things, thought processes that are going, oh, you can't go there, you can't go there, you can't do this. And it's like, I don't know where these voices come from. And I do know where they come from. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if that Angelspit's 20 this year. Angelspit's 20 this year. And sometimes I wonder, like, I don't know, things have changed so much. Holy shit, things have changed. When Angelspit started, people loved being offended. They drank it. They wanted to be offended because they wanted to feel alive. Now it's kind of exactly the opposite. That everything is so offensive, they don't want to be inoffensive anymore. I can't speak on behalf of other people. I don't want to speak on behalf of other people. I know this for myself. Yet all I want to do is create something that is extremely offensive to me, because there's something about that. The concept. I'm not saying saying a whole bunch of swear words or things that are offensive. I'm saying musical ideas, conceptual ideas, because I am so landlocked in the expectation of some fucking algorithm that's telling me how to live my life, and I'm really done with it. Anyway, there you go. So Revolution Action. We could talk about that, or we could talk about lyrics and delivery.
Open to both.
Alex, you brought it up. I'd love to hear some more about your ideas of lyrics and delivery.
Actually, Brett brought it up, but I can talk about it.
Oh, hey. Take your pick. You or Brett?
Okay, so this is a problem me and Brett, as far as I understood, both have, that we have lyrics, we like the lyrics, but there's somehow a disconnect bringing it from like a paper or LCD screen to an audio recording, because you just improvise it, but it somehow doesn't work, and you don't know why. And you try out different things, but you, at least I feel kind of aimless in this pursuit, and it's like somehow existential in a way that it's like not able to feel walls or something. And
Okay, here we go. Alex, I hear you. I'm just going to fucking come in. One, you need to wear a mask. We were talking about the mask and everything else last week. You have to stick a photo of the being that you want to be, a photo. It can't be an image on your computer. You have to go and print it out of the creature that you want to be. A creature that I liked was, what was the guy's name? And he was in Home Alone guy. Macaulay Culkin in Party Monster. Have you ever seen Party Monster? Genuinely terrifying movie. Also, the guy from the maitre d' in Cabaret. Those two people with a bit of Frankenfurter. That in there somewhere is the, wow, I've forgotten all that. Anyway, is a being that I love. I drink from that glamorous evil. Who are yours? Find it, make a mood board, print them out. Yay, homework. Print it out, stick it on the wall, wear a mask. Get naked. Take off your clothes, get naked. And the colder it is, the better. Because when you do something crazy and risky, something in your brain gets turned on. Or don't get naked or whatever. Do your nails, do makeup, whatever it is. This being here, you've got to get away from that being. You must get away from that being. You are going to spend, this is the cruel fucking ironies with so many artists, is that you are dealing with this shackle that is holding your brain down, this chain that is holding your brain down to the bottom of the ocean, and it's connected to a ball. But here's the thing. There's no chain, there's no ball at the bottom of the ocean, and there's no ocean. There's just you floating in space, and the space is you imagine something and it appears. But for some reason, that's the reality that the artist brain chooses to have, with all of these hurdles of why you shouldn't be doing shit. Then you might want to drink to turn that noise off. You might want to have a smoke to turn that noise off. You might want to go for a run and do some sit-ups. Actually, definitely do some sit-ups. You might want to do some vocal scales. And then you might want to get ready for some fucking kung fu. So you set that microphone up and you do it. And don't do it from the perspective of you. Do it, say, if I was David Lee Roth, how would I do this? Or an artist that you like. Yeah, here's a picture, that picture I painted, the voice of this artist singing this song. What is it? And that could be the alien or the fucking predator or something. And that's not necessarily a growl. Who knows? Maybe the predator has got this deep, beautiful, sexy voice. And maybe the alien is this beautiful fucking, maybe the alien is this beautiful fucking sexy soprano. Whatever it is, I don't know. You have to go to this place. And if you can't go there, then you've got to change your surroundings. And that might be doing your hair, doing your makeup, printing shit out, getting naked, drinking, not drinking, whatever. And my advice is don't write lyrics don't write a melody on a keyboard. Don't do it. Do it live. Maybe that will be a placeholder, but fucking man, for some reason, every single time I just sing lyrics, like get in front of a mic and go, yeah, they work. Know where you're going to breathe as well. At least know the pacing of it. Know where you breathe. That's the important part. Actually, notate with an X. That's what I do. Breath. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. Aaron, talk to me.
Yeah, I was about to say, nobody's gonna police you for doing homework. Like a lot of what Carl's saying. You know what I mean? It's like write down all the things. You have all the cheat. Plus your inspiration packed up on the board. And atmosphere, holy shit, is atmosphere everything. If you put me in a sound-soaked booth and put a mic in front of me and said, hey man, do the Wicked Stories thing, I'd be like, this is gonna fucking suck. I'm gonna rail against it. It's going to fucking bother me. I don't like it. The lights are too bright, And it's like, I don't even drink, but I'll be like, I feel like I'm having a hangover right now. Can we turn the lights down? Can we turn the lights off? Can we get a fucking flicker flame bulb? Can I do something fucking different? But the second that I throw on Bet Noir's shit, and his necklace and a faceless mask and the hood, and I've got the flicker flame bulb going, and I've got my Zoom recorder in me, or recording, and I've closed the door and everything is wildly different, I'm ready to fucking bring the heat and have a blast doing it.
Thank you. Some wonderful comments going on here. Basically, you got to go out, got to go crazy, got to go out, and you've got to decide what that is. It's really funny, we all walk around with these weights that say lack of confidence. All you have to do is just put them down every now and then and go, you know what, I'm going to go and explore my brain. Brett, hit me.
A couple right along with Aaron there, but also kind of going more back to the practice of it, which is kind of where I run into issues. So, well, issues is the wrong term, but so usually, like if I decide I'm going to do lyrics on something like the one I'm working on now, what I'm doing is as I'm listening to the song, I'm writing the lyrics and I'm trying to make them fit. Problem that I run into though is my brain doesn't have to take a breath, and it doesn't have to deal with the actual mechanics of my mouth moving. So that's where it then comes up to, all right, now I've got to do this about 1,000 times until I've weeded out all the unnecessary words and restructured every single thing, and can do that at cadence. And that's and that's part of the way I view vocals, just in general. It's like, let the monster come out. A lot of times in my own fictional world, the monster is more luring you into a hypnosis so that it can fuck you up easier. So I don't mind things being wordy, but that comes in, with critiques that come from that problem. It's like, okay, if you're going to be wordy at that point, you're not creating a sing-along. The sing-alongs are going to be those short, here's your catch, here's your chorus, here's your catch, move along. So for me, it's almost always let that monster have its place, and then you just have to freaking do the work.
Brilliant. Thank you. Alex.
So one trick for practicing, if you know what you want to do, or maybe if you want to figure out if something is even possible, is to just take a bar or two and just practice that on repeat. Not after, like not in a perfect loop, but sing the 2 bars, reflect on it, focus your mind again, and sing it again. So it might not be the best idea to just practice from start to finish, but pick out the slices that you have a problem with and just focus on that at a time. Of course, you need to practice the whole thing because doing that is different than just, there's a different challenge than just the bit, but that's a way to practice more efficiently the parts that you struggle with.
Yeah, you got to know it until you don't have to think about it. Aaron, birthday boy.
One thing that I think would be incredibly helpful too is just kind of re-examine the fact of like, am I performing surgery on the lyrics or am I performing surgery on the beat? And sometimes it's a little bit of both. But if you're like, it's all well and good to be like, okay, let's not be too wordy or crazy or whatever. Just this isn't working, as far from a lyrical standpoint. But if there's really things that you truly don't want to sacrifice, again, maybe you don't perform surgery on the lyrics so much so as you do for the beat. And you go, okay, this isn't quite fitting in the parameter of this block of this song. But maybe it gets to the point where the beat tapers off or washes down to the low point, and you still interject those lyrics that you want. And then you fucking send it and you go to the next part of the song. You know what I mean? It's that interlude. It's that break to where maybe the whole reason it wasn't working is just because it's been going ape shit the whole time, with, literally, if you watch the sine waves, it's really erratic, but maybe you need that beat to, again, you just take a scalpel and cut out just a little bit of that instrumental and patch it in, to finish that complete thought with your lyrics. And then that adds a new dynamic to your song and it bites even harder when you kick it back into gear.
That's excellent advice. Thank you. Alex, I just saw your hand.
So something that I started doing and maybe need to do more is to look up music with a similar tempo and similar rhythm and just see how, if it has lyrics, how did they solve this problem? Maybe how many words per bar do they use? What rhythm, or in what kind of rhythm are they speaking or singing? That's one of the methods I have used.
Thank you. And Alex, I will just say, oh boy, I think we've got, welcome to Hollywood. Can you hear the sirens? Yeah, that's great. That's outside my house. I've got a helicopter over the top as well. There it is.
They're after your bridge meet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they're coming here. Oh my God, the cops here! Ah!
Quick, Frank,
what I should
grab
say
the
is
door.
that there's 4 cops. That's 80,000 calories. Come on in, officer. I was going to say something really important back to Alex. Yeah, by the way, Alex, right now you look really good. You're there's a lighting going on here that's very, very nice. Look at that lighting, because we always talk about, oh, what look do we want for Alex? I just pinned you. But it's really nice. What's going on there is so nice. And whatever that effect, like the angles in the background, it's so simple, isn't it? Those angles in the background and whatever lighting it is across, it's nice. Just thought I'd say, because we're always talking about, possible photo shoots for you and stuff. Yeah. Make that fucking shit, man. That's it. Just get in front of a microphone or a synthesizer and don't give a fuck. And if it doesn't talk to MIDI, then get a pen and paper, write it down. Like, oh my God. And don't talk. Oh, hey, I was kidding when I said that I keep bodies in the fridge. I was kidding. Yeah. So, I think the sun shining in the mirror is actually what made it amazing, Alex. That's my thoughts on this. I love your thoughts on this. Spider Goat, I'm sorry you don't make music. Maybe I'm glad you don't make music because it's a fucker of an addiction. But thank you for being here to listen to music and people making music. Aaron, talk to me.
I would triple down on the joke by saying, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't keep them in the fridge. That's silly. You run out of room really quick. It's a deep freeze."
You do. Salt them up, mate.
And that's how the Zoom chat goes from vaguely inspirational to what the fuck?
Vaguely
Like
inspirational.
thanks.
Thank you, vaguely inspirational. Anyway, yeah. Bacon.
Hey, don't come to Grim Reapers for sense and reason.
True. They come to me for a meal. Yeah, that's how we do it. Thank you, Alex. Anything you want to add?
Why isn't that a lyric?
Which one? Come to me for a meal?
Yeah.
Write that one down. Thank you.
Maybe as an epilogue, something I've realized is that much of the music I really enjoy wasn't perceived as one piece in the immediate, but developed through experimentation and just working out what works and trying stuff out. For example, I don't think both Kevins came together and said, "Hey, let's make music like Skinny Puppy," but they just jammed together, saw what worked, maybe worked out a vocal style, what kind of drum patterns are cool, and just went from there. The same with Autica and probably Aphex Twin and many others. So experimentation is probably really important and something that I should more and allow myself to do and fail so other things can live.
Yeah, man, experimentation and failure are fantastic. Like, seriously, it is. And if you're going to go down in flames. Like, just fucking shit, set it on fire. And every time a track doesn't work, go, awesome, this is an opportunity to just do something fucking crazy with it. I'm in a period right now where I just don't want to record vocals. Yet I am writing so many lyrics, and I think the lyrics I'm writing are some of the best lyrics I've ever written, but I just don't want to record vocals. Like, I was looking back at this new Angelspit album, and it's like, oh, dude, we're getting close to done. It's a very good album. I'm very happy with it. It's great. I have recorded one final vocal for, I think I've got like 10 songs done. One final vocal, and I just hate doing vocals. Unless they're like really sexy vocals. So I'm sort of going, maybe I want to do sexy vocals, or maybe I should do what I did on an album called The Product, and I did 3 takes. 3 takes, choose the best. Not 23 takes, which is normally, like, literally, I will do 20 takes. And when it gets to a point where you can't fucking tell the difference anymore, man, it's do or die. I'm sick of my voice right now, frankly. Well, why did you just nod your head, Alex? I said I'm sick of my voice. And he goes, yeah.
Because I can relate to that.
Does anybody else want to say something amazing at this point, or do we want to go to MTV TV, because there'll be something fantastic going on there? Okay, we're going to go to MTV TV. Thank you for joining us. And I will once again just remind you of amazingly important stuff. Here we go. So this is made possible with Angelspit's Patreon. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Every Saturday morning, we are here. This is great. Hi, I'm Carl, and I just seriously don't have it together. It's just inspiring how much I don't have it together. It's great. Hold on, it's coming. It's coming. Wait for me, god damn it. Okay, look at me. Please don't look at me. Every Saturday we're here. Art of Rock. Look at that. I did it. I have it together. But right now we're going to go to MTV TV because there's something fucking fantastic going on MTV TV. Diana, you're not here. I hope you are okay. Adam, I hope you are okay. We're going to set up a raid for MTV TV. And then we're going to stay back here and bitch some more about making music because it's the best thing to bitch about. I think it's the best thing to bitch about. And I will just say I hate Twitch. I fucking hate Twitch. God, I hate Twitch. Okay, we're rating. MTV TV, go. And if you're watching on YouTube, we're doing it. And let me know when this damn thing's rated. This channel is intended for mature audiences. Thank you so much. Right now, to MTV TV we go. So thank you so much. And we will keep talking backstage. See you next week. Make your music, god damn it. Make your damn music. Bye, 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 bye.